All Super Pro wrestle persons are highly trained professional athletes. Do not attempt to copy their performances or actions. This program is solely intended for your viewing pleasure.
Moves have been missed.
She fell flat on my face. It was pure embarrassing.
Physics have been broken.
What the fuck, Evelyn?
Laws of time and space shattered in an instant. Yes, this is entertainment, but the glitches are real. Whoever you are, whatever you do, please don't put this at home.
King gets the victory. Bama Slab. Mirabella wins. Right elbow gets the win. There, Robert. A big knee to the face. What? You have to consider it an upset.
Might be the scenario here that spear, all of that running momentum, and it gets the job done.
The bull star! He's done it! Goodness me! He's done it! Roho has done it! Roho has won a match!
Hello everyone and welcome to the 2021 C64 Summit. And Blake, I remember mail order monsters. I was a big Commodore 64 guy, which is why this sort of tribute act has happened. Without further ado, because we've got a lot to get through tonight. First match. Personally, I was always partial to the Creatures game. Or the Dizzy games. Why is Tom's music not working? And already! Technical hiccups. Alright, just imagine a mashup of the X Factor theme and the fake X Factor theme is playing.
So, Brian, it works out better than you could possibly imagine. So C64 rules are in effect, so 30-minute time limit, 2 points a win, 1 a draw, 0 a loss. And these two, neither of them were in the Summit last year. But now Michi hadn't even debuted back then, and back then Tom was still a Sideburns Worldwide henchman. He's certainly come on with his career. Didn't even exist last year. You heard it here first. This man is a literal baby, and he's in the C64 Summit. It's open to everyone. You fool! I was thinking more like the Venture Brothers clones. Off the ropes again. Kicks the leg out of the leg beautifully. Neither of these two able to fully wear the other down yet. Though if Naomichi continues with heavy strikes like that, followed by the sliding drop kick, Tom in return though flies in with the kick. And again. Shots like that to the jaw will really rock you. And then one to the back of the head. Here they go. Tom, up top. Comes off clean with a moonsault. Escapes the wrist lock. Oh, hammerlock DDT, and that could turn things. Taking the time to drag Tom away from the ropes, but he's able to recover. Beautiful springboard. Arm drag there, beg your pardon. Yeah. And he's coming in heavy with those moonsaults. Naomichi. Oh, no stranger to going up top himself. Centre of the ropes, beautiful drop kick there from Tom. Staying on the attack, gets whipped into the ropes. Big Rana, but the feet were under the ropes. And what we have here is just two high-speed, hard-hitting competitors. Want to be the first to get the points on the board. Tom up top again. Moonsault. Should not put Naomichi away. Sky Twister moonsault. And now they're just strong trail train, dives off the top. Trying to wear him out now. Beautiful drop kick. Oh, into that hook kick. Properly took him out with that one. Boom! That was a tech critical in the opening match. A win is a win is a win. Tom Newton first to get the points on the board. You talk to me about that, Blake. Every time. Every time. Winners wear masks, and so do luchadors. We're just going to keep this going. As I said, we have a... Oh, I like that. I like that. I will have that done in time for next time. So just moving straight along, match number 2. You've literally only just missed the opening match, Spike Dragon, which was Tom Newton getting things off with a win, tech threat over Naomichi Suzuki. You're here right in time for the second match, your match, Dragon Spike versus Chris Drake. Yes, this was all supposed to kick off yesterday, but turns out when they say, hey, vaccine number 2 is going to flatten you, they're not fucking kidding. I mean, it's worth it. Absolutely get vaccinated, but holy shit, I couldn't move the other day. Like, I'm fine now, I've got a bit of a sore arm, like, which is to be expected, but I'm okay now. Apart from my sleep being a bit thrown off because of the time I fell asleep yesterday. But, yeah, apart from that, I'm fine now. Like, I generally don't get side effects that heavy, which is why I didn't expect it to be as bad as it was. Like, with the first one, Joanna got flattened by it, whereas I just had the bit of the sore arm, and that was it. And that's usually how these things work. Referee Steve Dev in charge of this one. Again, the 30-minute time limit in effect. Now, what really happened there was someone got to the bot first and I accidentally clicked unban. But what I'm saying is that they so offended me that I unbanned them so I could ban them again. Straight kicks a leg out the leg. I mean, to be honest, the worst part of the weekend was having to get the thing in the first place, because not only do I have a phobia of needles, but also because they're doing like roll-in locations for where they do the vaccines, rather than just being like a 10-minute bus ride away, I had to travel literally to the other side of Edinburgh, to a place I'd never even heard of before. But that I'm still not convinced is a real place. And that meant having to travel through the city centre on a Saturday, which was really busy, full of people not wearing fucking masks. Oh, beautiful Pelly kick there. Oh, Fujiwara on bar, but Chris escapes. The second one was, Brian, the first one hurt. Like, the first one, she fucking rammed that thing in. Joanna can attest to that, because she got hers the same time as me. First vaccine. That woman fucking rammed that thing in.
Helga, she was very precise.
I mean, the first one hurt more for me, but that was, as I said, that woman just jammed that thing in there. There was no finesse. It was just like, get that thing in and then out. But a lot of back and forth here. In the meantime. But neither man showing signs of slowing down. Oh, fix them pants. And taking the time to fix the pants might have proven costly, as he's been planted up top. Burning hammer! Into the cover. Strike gets the win. I mean, no shame in going down to a burning hammer. Absolutely none. Alright, now the next match is, I'm going to be honest, it's probably going to look like a bit of a mismatch. Kiwi! Kiwi, how you doing? We're only 2 matches deep so far and just getting started. Oh, that's the other thing, now that I think about it, for Roberta. The other reason I'm not doing this in League mode is because it better allows for different attires between matches. Oh, we're only 2 matches in. Plenty time to go. The next match, yeah, again, it might seem a bit of a mismatch, physically, but you never know what's going to happen. As we come to Hannah Brightly versus Duke Yeehaw. Oh, don't sweat it, Suze. Don't sweat it. Neighbours, huh? Yeah, of course. Hope everyone's alright on their end. Duke Yeehaw. Creation of one Eddie Sideburns. Going up against Hannah Brightly. Now, physically, this might seem like a mismatch. But you can never tell in Fire Pro. You can just never tell. Steely's Cowboy. Ah, the Lulu Pencil Chris Brooks stratagem. I like it. And hey, like the other thing is, and it goes for the other matches as well, a loss does not put you out of the tournament. Nobody went undefeated last year.
Like the ecstasy of a good beating.
Ah! Of course, a physical powerhouse is Duke Yeehaw. But Hannah Brightly has technical know-how and heart, and you can't underestimate heart, but you can't underestimate a lariat like that either. As I say, as Hannah Brightly just stands straight up, completely no selling it, going for a cover, not even getting a 1. Duke Yeehaw, the way Duke Yeehaw works, Otar, is I did the design and the moves and stuff based off suggestions from Eddie Sideburns, who came up with the name and premise of the character. Oh, just launches Brightly out of the ring. Coming out in lukewarm pursuit. Managed to get a 2 count. But going toe to toe with Duke Yeehaw and not backing down as Hannah Brightly. Oh yeah, it's lukewarm pursuit if you step out of the ring, Otar. It's only hot pursuit if you do a dive. Oh. Again, kicking the leg out of the leg. Yeehaw continuing to work on Brightly. As far as I'm aware, Otar, I coined it. I'm not saying I'm the first to ever say it, but I've never heard anyone say it. But hoisted up, airplane spin. It might not do the damage needed, but it might disorient the big man a bit. Jeebus effect like elbow. But you don't want Yeehaw to get going with those running moves. Still only able to keep him down for a 1, but gradually wearing the big man down nonetheless. Taking over to the suplex, the feet were too close to the ropes. Brightly with the Irish whip. Again kicks the leg out the leg. Trying to further disorient the big man. Caught with Rana. Still can't keep him down. Oh shit, that's no good, Suze. Sit out jawbreaker followed by the elbow. They're dragging him to the centre of the ring for on hold. Oh, you can see him winding up there, but Brightly not stopping there. Moonlock lock. Dodges the drop kick and just getting floored there by the combo of hits. Brightly though, back in it. And once again going toe to toe with the big man and not dropping first. That's the power of heart. Big sling blade. Still can't keep him down. And just a huge power boom there from Duke Yeehaw. Brightly kicks out. Yeehaw executes a big power slam there, followed by a backbreaker, like so across the knee. Once again, trying to take the leg out. But this could be a mistake, trying to play to the crowd. Allowing Yeehaw that time to recover. He misses over the splash in the corner. Push kick. But Brightly still keeps fighting back. Oh, bridge suplex! Could not get the job done. And once again, just clean yeeting across the ring. Winding up. Again, Brightly recovers quickly. Sleeper slam. Going for the cover. Still can't keep him down. Oh, Set up. Charges in with the knees. Hannah Brightly with the win. Don't bet against Hannah Brightly. Never bet against Hannah Brightly. It would make you a fool. Alright. Next up, we've got a match featuring one of last year's competitors. Okay, Kiwi, but only because you asked so nicely. Oh. And since I don't know if I said this publicly, oh, you mean pumpkin spice? I got confused and for a second, Chainsaw, and thought you meant like Maya, and I was like, wait, Maya's not in this. So yeah, our next match features one of last year's competitors going up against the first ever Super Pro Wrestle Grand Champion. Oh yeah, so there is a new title on the line in the C64 Summit. So as you know, we have the Super Pro Wrestle Grand Championship, which is basically just open to the people based on real people from the old Super Pro Wrestle stuff and the likes. Whereas this new one, a Wrestleverse Championship, which will be open to everybody. So Eddie Violet going up against Drew Mungus here. The flippiest of all possible giants. Otar still salty at Drew for not only beating their father in the Twitch Cup, but being a bit of a sore winner about it, as Drew will tend to do. I mean, in reality, as we all know, Drew is Drew's one of the loveliest people, but like, he will call you a nerd. He absolutely will. Like, calling people nerds is like one of his hobbies. I said he didn't, Otar. If not, I apologise. I believe so, Forever Craig. Ah! I apologise. He fell on his bum. Big choke boy. But it does not get the job done. Oh, has the Romero locked in, but the referee down. Senior official finally getting back to his feet. What? I'm not a coward. Think of the damage that they're doing to Violet. But still manages to get the shoulders up. For once involving them, that's good to hear, Suze. Uh-oh. That big stinky giant going up top again. Drops Violet with a suplex. The big stinky giant trying to catch his breath. Flippy Del Sol. Into the single leg dropkick. Thought he's in Rana. Stinky giant back up. You know what theme I've had stuck in my head forever, Craig? Moomins. Tried to slam him, but it was a mistake. And Big Drew Boy gets the win. Okay, from that, because we've got a lot of matches to get through, we're going. I don't think either of the people involved are here, so we're going to do our first Benny Hill of the night. You know, the funny thing is, Greg, it came because we were talking about it the other night when we were doing the Phasmophobia stuff. And the thing that surprised me was that Rush had never heard of Moomins. So, like, the other day I sent her the Moomins intro, or like I messaged her it, and like, oh, this is it in case it rings a bell, kind of thing. And she messaged me back And her exact words were, OMG, why are they the ghosts of hippos? I know, right, Suze? I mean, I guess maybe it wasn't as known in Canada as it is here or something, maybe? Because the thing that made me think she might is because like me and Russ have got pretty similar tastes and stuff, and she's into Homestar Runner, and Homestar Runner did sing the theme tune from Moomins once. Yeah. Ba 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 ba. Anyway, first Benny Hill of the night, Albino versus Lulu Jump. Get your bits in. You're right, Chainsaw. I have never heard of Romper Room. See, like, Brian, there is people who know about it in the US, but I don't think it's as known there as it is in Europe. It's mainly, like, it's based out of Scandinavia. And it's, like, huge there. Like, there's even, like, a Moomin's theme park in Sweden, I think it is. Either Sweden or Finland, I can't remember which. Alright, here we go. Heading back and forth. Test his strength. Lulu Jambo, but Albino with a low blow. Back and forth they go again. Scoop slam from Albino, follows it up, but gets choking her, but she likes it. Oh, back and forth again, and knee off the ropes. Poke to the eyes by Albino, but caught in the head scissors, but he's back up to his feet, and these are, and gets caught with the snapmare. High squeeze again, hell yeah. Titty smack battle, here we go! Yeah, I can't do it like Dino, see. Girl off the top. Oh, trying the Eddie Guerrero trick. Oh, big hand swole for it. Albino, who had a decent performance in the C64 Summit last year. Not strictly true, Otar. Lulu's stablemate Evie has won by Eddie Guerrero trick before. And yes, that was motorboating. Stoner! %. No bad, no bad, no bad, no bad. Yes, his theme is Black Parade because he's an emo luchador. That's why he's got the hair over the mask. Incidentally, EJ, And I'm just now realising I think I forgot to set music for EJ, but there's next time. Always for next time. Yeah, Albino was created by a friend of mine. Who runs the... actually, if any of you have seen the Friends Wrestle account on Twitter, he runs that. Like, he's a good real-life friend of mine. And when we were at college together, he bought a Blue Demon Junior mask. And declared himself Albino, the emo luchador. And and that in itself was in reference to the famous Bret Hart El Dandy promo, because, you know, El Dandy, Albino. For any non-UK people in the chat who don't get that, the Beano and the Dandy are like two big kids comics here in the UK. And he was the emo luchador, and to prove how emo he was, instead of like the emo fringe, he pulled the hair out through the eye hole like the fringe. The man knows how to work. Anyway, speaking of Evie from Only Graps. She has some quite saucy opposition herself. Oh, Swedish, he used to straight up just wear that thing around college. Going up against the master of the backside, Kingpin Jim. Also, I will be designing like a table graphic that I'll do updates of on Twitter, by the way. Not yet though, because obviously only the first match and not much to fill it in with yet. But it will be coming. We'll all be coming. There was one lecturer, Chainsaw, who wasn't happy about it. Like, he saw us, like, we were walking by the classes one day. And this guy saw us and came running out looking for the guy in the mask. Because we both had our alter egos then. He was Albino, the emo luchador. I was his arch nemesis, Biff Saxon. It's without the G. That's the one. And Biff Saxon basically being my love of 80s metal brought to life. It was Lance Maverick before Lance Maverick was Lance Maverick. Basically just like me cutting around in a leopard print headband, sunglasses, Skid Row t-shirt, sleeveless denim jacket. Another chainsaw. Biff Saxon was cool. I have an El Generico mask as well, Kiwi. Oh, caught Jim with the roll up, only one. Is that what they call themselves? The Dirty Dogs? I only have one Bullet Club piece of merch, and it's like one of the original t-shirts. Like, the original t-shirt from like back when it was just Devitt, Anderson, Tama, and Fale. Oh, no worries, sis. Like the one that was like the old logo, like the pre-Skull and Crossbones type one. And it had like Devitt, Anderson, Fale, and Tama's names on the back. In retrospect, I regret not buying the Devitt Real Rock and Roller one instead. I remember, and Suze might remember this night. It was one of the nights that Devitt was in Glasgow. It was the same night as the Rumble that the Rumble that Batista won, that everyone booed for because like Rey Mysterio came out at 30 instead of Daniel Bryan. And I remember pestering Devitt to like bring over next time he was in Glasgow. Because all he had was like 8x10s, he didn't have any t-shirts. He was very nice though, he was very, very nice. Trying the trick. Is it going to work? Well, that's one way to reverse it. Oh, broke his nose. Did you ever hear about the interaction he had with Matthew at his last ICW show? Like Botchamania Matthew, I mean. Oh no, it wasn't like a bad thing or anything, Suze. It was that ICW show in Newcastle. Where he had his last match with him. And like afterwards Matthew was getting some of the wrestlers to record intros for Botchamania. And he asked Devitt if he wanted to do one. And like he hadn't said so publicly at this point yet. like, and his response was just like, I can't do it, I'm going to WWE, you fucking plum. Which, you know, blunt to the point. And Matthew was laughing, so, you know.
Bring it.
Now, I'll tell you something as well. And this is possibly like my biggest markout in wrestling ever. So that night I was on about the Batista winning the Rumble one. What that was like a bunch of us went into a bar in Glasgow to watch the Rumble after this ICW show, and a bunch of wrestlers came in. Like he was there, Lionheart, Noam Dar, Grado, you know, the usual bunch. And you know, he was happily talking away to people and that, and I was chatting to him at one point. In fact, just before we left, actually, and I was just saying, you know, like, thanks very much for taking the time to speak to us, and like, hope you're able to come back soon, kind of thing, you know. He was like, he went, oh yeah, I'm going to be back in a couple of months, and then winked at me and said, kayfabe, and I was like, oh, you're so fucking cool. Yes, I've had Finn Balor wink at me, be jealous. Oh, glorious side slam for Jim. And Jim gets his points on the board. Damn fine match that was. 99%. As always, Jim scoring high on the board with the percentages. Right, next up. We might. I don't think either of them are here. I'll just double check that. Neither of them are here, so we're going to Benny Hill. So this one is Big Chef versus Kayla. If any of the themes don't work, by the way, it'll just be ones I've missed when trying to fix them all after the Twitch Cup, because I had the mods active during the Twitch Cup. Yeah, you can't just say Daniel Bryan roasted me in front of Alexa Bliss and like leave it there. Ah, my mic fell. Kayla, who made it all the way to the quarterfinals of the Twitch Cup, by the way, lost to eventual winner John Blood. Up against the winner of the 5th Hyper Bowl, the Big Chef. Isn't that nice? I mean, I'd have to think there's like Daniel Bryan roasting me in front of Alexa Bliss. I'm sure there's like people who would pay for that and not in the meet and greet kind of way. Claudio and Hero at a show once. I was really keen on getting a DVD of Hero's Best Of. I went up there and went, hey, it's Claudio to break the ice. And he said, oh, he knows how to sell. Big Chef with a win. That's 81%. Right. I don't know if one of the competitors for the next one is here yet. But I'm going to normal speed it anyway, other than just not doing 2 Benny Hills in a row. That and I think they might show up. Yeah, this is the good thing about something like the C64 Summit. Because you will get something like the match that is about to happen that none of us would ever have thought of. I was quite nervous the first time I met Mick Foley, Swedish. So there is ones like that. And if you don't know Xiao Da yet, better fall in love. She is so buff, that's right, Hannah. So we have Richard G. Hawk, one of our chat regulars, Kujira Hawk obviously, and Zelda, anyone who doesn't know, is the current champion of Matchday, which is a Joshi promotion I have started in the game. Charles Fies, that is a great point. Chainsaw. I'll tell you who else is a sweetheart within wrestling, and a lot of the chat regulars already know this. Amy Alonzi. I don't think so, Jim. We'll make it happen at some point. Yeah, Amy, like, again, when I did that charity stream last year, Amy agreed to come in and take part in it at like a day and a half's notice. After the pandemic cost her the biggest opportunity of her career. Bit of showing off there for G-Hawk. Nearly put him away with that big ass German. I believe so, Swedish, yes. I can guarantee you, Spike Dragon, that Suze was probably at the show where he sang at. Oh, low blow there from Richard G. Hawk. Xiao Da gets the win. See? And again, we move swiftly along. Thank you, Hannah. I can't remember if I put her up on the workshop yet. I'll double check. Like, once the stream's done, obviously, but I think I did. Alright, next up. Donkey Fury versus Robin Jones. So Hannah, if you grab her, and I know this can be a problem sometimes on the workshop, if there's any of the moves that are like missing from the workshop, please let me know, and I will see that as quickly as possible. The best one, EJ, for like, and I wasn't there, but obviously I've seen the video, where of the opponent struggling to keep a straight face, was the one he did for Lionheart and Liam Thompson. Because you could see, because Lionheart usually had like a really good poker face for that kind of stuff, but you could see, like, he had to go out onto the apron and try to make it look like he was being angry, when he was just trying not to, like, burst. Because the killer of it was, Suze, that Joe does such a fucking good Lionheart impression. Alright, player. That thing. It is how beautifully he nailed it. Did you? Aye. He does a lot of good impressions, does Joe. I like taking selfies with my brand new dog. Oh, geez, don't no messing around. So, I'm not going to sit and pretend like Lionheart was my favourite wrestler or anything, but like, as a person, I never had anything but positive experiences with him. Like, the main one I remember is the one time that I got to go to a Pro Wrestling Elite show, which, for anyone that doesn't know, was a company based in Ayrshire that Lionheart ran. And I went there, it was basically Noam Dar's last match in Scotland before he went to WWE. And like Lionheart being like front of house all day, just trying to, you know, running around like a blue arse flea, trying to make sure everything ran smoothly. And there was like travel complications with Noam because he'd been doing like a Progress show earlier in the day. And I'm just like running around trying to make everyone left happy. I think summed him up. Suck my arse it was, Spike Dragon. Which, it came from a promo he did, where like, he tried to like make it sound like he was going to say suck my dick, but he just went suck my arse, and then just went away, and it just kind of became a thing from that. Liam Thompson failed his degrees. Yeah, because that was the thing, because like, Liam Thompson legit has degrees. Oh! Tried for the spinning elbow, just got caught in the face by a kick. That might have been when he said Sukma Bahuki. Bahuki being like a childish word for arse in Scotland. That was indeed Liam Thompson, forever correct. One of my favourite Joe Hendry ones that never got the traction that the rest of them did was the Joan Osborne parody he did. Of the song What If God Was One of Us. That one was fucking hilarious. These two just straight up murdering each other at the moment. I think he only did it, he came out to it like once or twice, Suze. And he sang it in a backstage bit to Veronica Lestrange once. Which doesn't seem to be online anymore, sadly. But I remember talking to Veronica about it, and she said she went into it blind, like she didn't know what he was going to sing, and he came out with this like, and it was when he had Bobby Roberts with him. But the opening line was like, if you loved Joe Hendry, how would you show him? Would you show him your titties and let him feel them? But like, titties because like the whole Joe Hendry doesn't swear thing, like he got Bobby Roberts to do that one word. So it was like, would you show him your titties? And I did feel them. Duncan with a win. And like, again, Veronica trying like a champion not to crack up laughing. That was it. Yes, Joe is still in Ring of Honor, Brian J. That was it. That's the exact one, EJ. What if Joe was one of us? But he's not. He's high above, but not on drugs. Oh, the next match should be interesting. They are called Lost in Audio, EJ. Mash up at the two X Factor themes. Alright, get your bets in. Our WAP chat, Mirabella going up against Jinx. Oh yeah, if I mind right, Spike Dragon, it's one where he came out to it, but it's like a fan recorded one that's up on YouTube. I think he has a studio version of it up on his SoundCloud page, though. Or he did last I knew anyway. So here you go. Most of the points actually seem to be going on Jinx, who'd be something of the underdog in this match. I was wondering when someone would finally notice that Swedish. Seriously, I made that logo how many months ago and nobody has picked up on that yet? Did you? Yes, chainsaw is for a vagina. Oh, hellacious slide blade into the Fujiwara. I'm okay with it, Swedish. Well, clearly, Spike Dragon, it stands for good value at low prices. I tell you what, Forever Craig, that would give the song Country Roads a very different meaning. Right now, we just got two strong-ass lassies kicking each other a lot. Oh yeah, tangents are like 90% of these streams, Firehawk. Now, Mira going up top, but thinking better of it, saw Jinx was recovering. Yeah, exactly, Firehawk, exactly. Referee administering the count once more. Mira gets back in there. Oh, spot beautifully with a spinning heel kick, D'Lo Brown style. X Factor! Oh! Adama slam! If at first you don't succeed, try again. But Jinx having none of that shit. You fool! Now Mira's turn. Smacking. Jinx still at the moment. Jinx firing back. Sling blade. Into the Fujiwara. Mira makes the ropes. Roadrunner Dome with a DDT. Jinx not stopping there. He gets caught. Nothing. God damn. Oh, reversed in there for Fujiwara. Just folded up with the powerbomb like an accordion. Nope. And these two straight up wrecking each other with reckless abandon. Snaps into Fujiwara once more and gets the submission. Did enough damage over the course of the match to secure the submission victory. It's just as well that WAP Championship was not on the line, because that is when Mirabella really comes in heavy. No, reckless. No, I was. The joke doesn't work. I was about to say I was about to say. So that's when the zombie girl from AEW goes into business for herself, but doesn't quite work. Alright, the next one should be a good match. Not that I'm suggesting she does go into business for herself, I just like a daft joke. Alright, we've got two crowd favourites going up against each other next. Prepare to be split up the middle, the lot of you. Dougie, how you doing? And Chainsaw, tough competitor, formerly 1/3 of the Menage a Trois champions. But on the other hand, Henry once beat a bear. Henry once killed a bear. Trying to quickly put it away. Anyway, I mean, these two like each other outside the ring. Oh, that's good to hear, Dougie. Always nice when you got a good boss. A motherfucking chains. The crowd, that's the crowd chant says, a motherfucking chainsaw, what? A motherfucking chainsaw, what? A motherfucking chainsaw, what? So drops the knee into the chest. The first thing you ask someone when they start at your work is, do you like Limp Bizkit? My question for new starts in my work used to be, do you like... Well, I wouldn't even ask them if they like wrestling, I would just ask them who their favourite wrestler was. And that's a thing, incidentally, because everyone goes on about, like, who's a star in wrestling these days, when you would be surprised how many people cannot even name a wrestler. Like, how many of them don't even know that The Rock was a wrestler. That's how uncool wrestling is. Like, most of them, if they could name one, they would just name the first one they could think of, which was usually either The Rock or Cena. Apart from that one kid who named Fit Finlay, and I was like, you better keep this boy on. They did. That's the thing, like younger people today, Swedish, at least over here, have no even any idea who Hulk Hogan is. And Hogan, for all that he's a racist sack of shit, like at the height of his fame, he was legitimately a household name worldwide. Oh, thank you, Brian J. Yeah, if I'm not as energetic as usual tonight, it's because I'm feeling better after the vaccine, but still a bit worn out because it kind of messed up my sleep a little. Pop at the super kick. I'll never forget that Hulk Hogan screwed Sid Starjan at the 92 Rumble like a big cheat. Bear killer powerbomb. Texas Chainsaw Mass does not get the job done. Just trading finishers. Kings Road, Kings Road, Kings Road. You know, there's a bus in Edinburgh where, like, the final location listed on the front of the bus is Kings Road. And I keep meaning to take a photo of it so I can make a joke about it on Twitter, but I'm scared people are going to think I'm, like, some fucking bus spotter or something. Oh yeah, Shelton's brilliant, Firehawk. Henry gets the win. In a fairly short but sweet match. It's okay, Suze, because we all love Henry here. Henry's not here right now, but Henry is like the purest and goodest of people. Next up, two favourites in the sense that, like, one has been around for a while and very well liked. The other is fairly new here to the Wrestleverse, but is quickly gaining themselves a reputation for some damn fine matches. Well, I'll make a motherfucking chainsaw what command. Up against Brian J.
What?
Nothing fancy there, just a couple stiff scoop slams followed by the fist drop. Oh yeah, the crowd kind of split on this one.
Of a good beating.
Ah! That's what I would do, EJ, if I can find one anyway. Shouldn't be a problem. Should be like master tracks for remixes out there or something.
You can just bite my ass.
Why would I do that? Agreed, Sergeant. Well, I don't know, Suze, but we don't take shame here, so... New ass-biting action. I heard that Drew McIntyre has a devastating ass bite. I think it's draws, Spike Dragon. Yeah, that just bring it commentary. Yeah, that would be great. And some devastating suplexes being delivered here by Brian J. He needs to figure out a way back into this one. I thought that was going to be like the kinks are like assholes. We all have them, sometimes multiple. Which brings me to the question I asked Kiwi Bird last night. Some of you may have heard me ask this question before to our good friend Maya. Tails from Sonic has two tails. Does that mean Tails has two buttholes? Misses the moonsault with the chair. Because, like, physiologically, you lift up a tail, there's a butthole under it. So, by logic, two tails means two buttholes. Fucking kitsunes, how do they work? But can the art answer our questions? Nine buttholes. Imagine the marking of your territory you could do with them. It's an important question, I feel, Suze. And look at the debate it sparked. I shouldn't think the tails are tied to the butthole chain, so I mean, if you get a knot in there, it's never going to come out. Oh, German gets the job done. Brian gets his points on the board. And from there, I don't think either's here, so we're going to Benny Hill the next one. Now back to more important things, tails, buttholes. And you notice you said buttholes, like plural. Now, and if Kitsune does have 9 buttholes, I just don't want to think about the diarrhea. Bronson Lee, the most sus man in all of professional wrestling. Will be going up against
The man behind the counter was the imposter.
Bronson's always the imposter, even when he's not. For anyone that doesn't know, Bronson is part of a sometime group that I would play Among Us with, and is absurdly good at being an imposter. And yes, that is Gina G. From the same channel that brought you the 1 hour toaster oven debate. Tonight we bring you the 1 hour butthole debate. Butthole or buttholes? That is the question. So you might notice, due to his Among Us tendencies, I have made Bronson a big cheating bastard. Oh yeah, like, I'm definitely not Googling Tails buttholes, because that's just asking for trouble. And that's before you get to DeviantArt. Which in that case is going to be aproposly named. Ass King. Who is the Ass King? Yeah, for the sake of your own sanity, don't do it, Doogie. Let the record show that I've got quite an ass. I love how we can tell even from this being in like 400% speed, how many low blows have been in this match? God damn.
Damn, they look good on me.
Oh my god, run! Sam!
Fucking!
Bronson does it again. Okay, we've only got 3 Block A matches left. I'm trying to power through this because I meant to start last night, so, you know. And again, thank you everyone for the well wishes and stuff over the last day or so. I'm feeling a lot better now. So the next one. Looking at another clash of styles here. As it is a free time. Tier 6 champion. Going up against one of our newer popular favourites. Otar Oddball. Otar, 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 Otar. That music works. I like it. Oh, low blow already. We don't expect any less from Sean Cass. Holy moly. Yeah, fair to say Otar is the hot favourite here. No, you're not going to put Cass away that quick. As we said, free time. Tier 6 champion. 4 if you count the 2K days. Trading the blows comes to an end. Oh! Trying to tie Cass up. Bart went up top, fought better of it. Decided the opportunity was not there yet. I just wanted to feel tall. Missing with the enziguris. Not that one though. Drop kicks the leg out of the leg. And just hurls him out of the ring. Out in lukewarm pursuit. But they're back into the ring. Cass has that toffee hammer. Minotaur very much technical, bits of high flying here. Cass much more of a brawler. But Cass going up top, misses with the elbow, eats shit on that attempt. Oh, another hammer. Oh my god. Now, the game counts that as a draw. I think, yeah, I was going to say I think we should count that as a win for Otar. Yeah, I think, like, literally just killed Cass. Yeah, the consensus win for Otar. So it'll be marked as such as well. Otar will get 2 points. All right. This next match should be quite the thing. I'm going to just try and keep rattling through. That's a very good point, Brian. It's a distracting topic. So Jen Steele, currently one half of the simultaneous champions, going up against Casey Logan, one of the finalists from last year's C64 Summit. Casey, who lost in the finals to Elijah King. Oh yeah, that's science, Swedish. Every time the referee makes a count, a butthole gets added to tails. I'm sorry, Spike Dragon, but it's science. You can't argue with science. He's more powerful than Ford. You fool. See, like, these quick pickouts are them, like, realising what we've just said and trying to stop Tails having more buttholes added. Well, that just counts as 2, Swedish. You can't decimalise buttholes. Be serious. 2.9, I ask you. Pie buttholes, and speaking of pie, don't forget to check out our sponsors, Pie Pal. If you're hungry and can't be bothered going out, get your friends to send you a pie through the internet. Pie Pal. Always check for blood after. You will grow to love the weird taste of Pie Pal. By the way, there is only one Block A match after this one, and I think yous are going to dig it. I'm Derek Bum, and I'm here to tell you about Pie Pal. I'm declaring war on hunger. Out and lukewarm pursuit. Oh, missed with the breaker of tins on the floor, which would have hurt more because it's on the floor, because that rhymes. I love you, Pie Pal. That's one of those ones where I'm not sure if it's a good impression or not. And only those who know what the fuck we're talking about will be able to answer that. Bang, bang, bang! Here they go. Goodbye, hunger. To be fair, Otar, I'm legitimately not being discussing this in a sexy way or anything. I'm just curious about the science of how many buttholes. Oh, breaker the chins! Out of nowhere! And just like that, Steel gets the win. Okay. 85, no bad, no bad. So I'm fully expecting. Oh, so it's like a Mobius strip thing, like The Simpsons. Hello, Inferno. You join us right in time for the Block A main event. And I think this one could split. This one's going to cause quite a ruckus within the chat, I think. That's right, it's time. Some of you are going to be torn here. Oh yeah, here we go. Onigiri Toru is one of my original creations, EJ, and he has been very, very popular so far. The song is Happy Heads Naniori's Tai Toru, Swedish Ace. Oh yeah, we all love Johnny here, but Onigiri Toru is a very well liked wrestle person. I don't think Happy Heads have a song that isn't a banger, Morrigan. They're all just so good. NL Special! True, but Toru he's been improving on that win-loss record recently. Not quite. He never does quite seem to win the big one, that's true, but He's just been consistently having bangers. Hey, EJ, let's not be insulting Toru Yano here, our Lord and Saviour. Fork! The decriminalisation of buttholes. That is a sentence. Also, hello. My name is Sue. Purchase the merchandise. And Toru with those solid kicks in the corner springs up top. Missed with the frog splash. Trying to put Johnny away, couldn't quite get there. But Johnny with a pile driver. Going for the cover. Couldn't quite get there. Oh, and Gancho! Did not put him away. Nearly so close. Also, now that you all know they're in the for a fact that they're in the same group, how good will Otar versus Onigiri be? Big suplex there from John Blood. Hits the spear. Fork. Oh, now Toru is busted open. In response, hot pursuit to the outside. Yeah, all these forks, so that is why. That's why we always have to eat with the spoons in catering. And up again, Johnny looking for the pile driver once more. Toru kicks it. Trying for a runner, gets caught. Yeah, Johnny, a metal detector's worst nightmare. Springs up top. Frog splash and a butte. Johnny though with a low blow. And now they trade off once more. Rolling elbow from Toru. Low blow from John Blood. Going up top once more. Big boy senton. Into the cover. But Toru will still not stay down. Blocks the Batista bomb. Missed with the car. John Blood. Batista bomb. That has to be it. And gets the win. There we go. That does it for the Block A matches. Stay tuned, we'll be coming up with the Block B matches momentarily.